no matter what they do in the draft, no matter whether you like it or don't like it, they're going to be favored to win the NFC West next year. Why is that? That's because why would a 6-win team that looks like it's getting old, that looks like it's getting slow, still has injuries and vanishing acts associated with its wide receivers, why would this team still be favored to do anything? Well, that's because a lot of people, myself included, believe that they have the right coach and the right quarterback. A two-man game. Look, football has always been about controlling a million different moving parts, lots of moving pieces, lots of variables, all of which is made much, much easier when you have the right two guys at the two most important positions in all of sports, right? Like, there's no dynasty without that marriage. The John Harbaugh, and John Harbaugh is a great coach. Joe Flacco, is he elite? The reason why we had is Joe Flacco elite conversation for 3 years is because he won the damn Super Bowl playing unbelievable playoff football on the way to beating the 49ers in New Orleans for that Ravens team. But then that Ravens team went away pretty quickly. You know, they weren't ready to be a dynasty because they might have had the coach, but they didn't have the quarterback. Philadelphia was able to do it without really having either. You know, when the Denver Broncos won, even though that was the end of Peyton Manning, like they had the quarterback who knows how to win a Super Bowl, if not the coach at the time. That's why that didn't last very long. You know, it's hard to have both at the same time. And if you do, you got something special. You got Andy Reid, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, you got this guy named Joe Montana and another guy named Bill Walsh. They were pretty good together. When you get the coach and the quarterback together, everything on that football team gets a little bit easier. And this is the conversation that everybody continues to have. Is Brock Purdy elite? Look at it this way. I don't even know what that means anymore. I don't really know what anyone wants. How does elite equal out in your mind? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the 49ers were to walk away from Brock Purdy today looking for a new quarterback, they'd be looking for a new quarterback that could have as much early in career success as Brock Purdy has had. You know, a fantastic start to your career, not elite enough for some people. I get that. Brock Purdy is hardly the statue of David, a physical masterpiece that no one could ever critique. He's not that. But what he is the computer, the operating system that I really believe you need to play quarterback. And this is around why I don't understand why they don't have the deal done. You know, is Brock Purdy elite? I don't know, but he produces some pretty elite numbers that are better than quarterbacks that we all agree are the elite quarterbacks. If you're outperforming the elite quarterbacks, not only is it hard to deny you entry into that conversation, but it kind of like dumps on what you think is elite, right? Because you say, all right, this is a quarterback that I really like. He produces these numbers. Brock is a quarterback I decided I didn't like, and his numbers are better. Like at some point, the logic has to add up, right? At some point, you have to think to yourself, this is going to work out. Or you're like Joseph. And Joseph, I'm glad you're in here. And I'm not mad at you, Joseph. You are so pot committed as a lifelong 49er fan to this being the wrong head coach and this being the wrong quarterback. I mean, I honestly believe they could have won that Super Bowl in Kansas City. And your biggest argument the day after would have been, bet you they can't repeat. And if they don't repeat, they're not elite and they're not good enough for me. Like, there's just no pleasing you with this guy. Just no pleasing you at all. Like, Brock Purdy could offer to babysit your kids for free. I feel like you'd turn it down because you just have something against him. And I really don't know why, because he hasn't done anything other than come in here and save everybody's job and everybody's reputation all at once. That's what he's done. Brock Purdy is the reason why all of this is still employed, why all of this is still on a track of maybe going somewhere. Look, He's got the best NFL passer rating since 2002. That's not an opinion. That's a measurable fact. He's got the best passer rating in the league as a quarterback at 106.2 since 2002. He leads the NFL at 9 yards per pass attempt, and he leads the NFL at 13.3 yards per completion. Really hurts that he can't throw the ball downfield crowd's argument. He completes passes of 10 yards or more at 58%, which led the NFL last year. A year where the 49ers passing game was in the toilet. He still led the NFL in completion percentage of passes 10 yards or more. You know, some people say, well, that's not good enough for me. Really? Because that's where the entire Kyle Shanahan offense operates. The entire Kyle Shanahan offense operates in about a 15-yard box that is 12 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and 3 yards behind it. That's where everything happens. It's where the entire dance floor is for Kyle Shanahan's offense. He didn't have a very good wide receiver last year, and he still was that productive. Already in his young career, he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been an MVP finalist. He has set a franchise record for passing yards. He has thrown 30 or more touchdowns already in a year. Like, it just seems so funny that with all the bad quarterback play that this franchise has had, that you'd finally get to the guy who is officially the next guy who is officially good at this. Great, maybe not as great as you want him to be as instantly as you want it, but the fact that Brock Purdy's harshest critics can't even admit, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's not exactly what I wanted, but he's pretty good. Like, you can't even admit that he's pretty good. It's the 49ers quarterback either has to be the single greatest quarterback walking the earth or he sucks. Like, there is something in between those two extremes. And that's where Brock Purdy is. Now, we're also at a place in time where anyone who leads to the top half of the quarterbacking conversation is like a $50 million a year man. This $50 million price point that a lot of people say, that's a no-go for Brock Purdy. Like, you cannot play I was watching Colin Cowherd a little bit this morning. I heard him in the background when I was making coffee. He said, you can't pay a B-plus quarterback A-plus money. Who's grading Brock out at a B plus? And is that even fair? Considering, and you have to admit this if you want to be in this conversation like an adult, considering there's so much more to going into who's a good quarterback and who's not a good quarterback than just physical traits and talent. Up here, Brock Purdy's one of the best already in football. So why would you walk away from a guy who's got it up here, especially when he plays for a coach where if you don't have it up here, you can't even play. You can't get on the field. Kyle Shanahan is good at what he does. Doesn't matter what the 49ers results have been. Doesn't matter that they haven't or he has yet to win a Super Bowl as a head coach. He's really good at what he does. To say otherwise means you are not paying attention to the way the league functions, the way the league speaks about respect towards coaches. There is nobody in football who says Kyle Shanahan's bad at this. The only people who agree Kyle Shanahan is bad at this have never been to a football game without buying a ticket. You have no connection to actual professional football in any way, shape, or form. You don't. All you are is a person on your couch complaining. He's really good at this. And he's about to make $50 million. And I can't believe that the 49ers haven't already given it to him. They should be so incentivized to just get this number locked in, move on, and be done with it, that I can't believe it has not already happened. I really don't. I mean, this guy has saved everybody's bacon. I don't know why any of this is hanging in limbo. I don't understand. I really don't understand. The 49ers should want to get this done for him, for them, for the certainty, to have numbers locked in that will let you know what you can spend after the draft on remaining street free agents who you might want to have come in, just to know, to have some certain, the biggest number in the room should be the first number in the room locked in. I believe that. So we'll see what the 49ers end up doing here. But I'm so surprised that this hangs in limbo. But, it adds so much fuel to the fire of Brock Purdy criticism to leave this hanging in limbo. I'm not saying that criticism is going to bury Brock Purdy and he won't know how to deal with it or anything like that. He knows how to deal with it. Again, he is a quarterback that has mastered the podium, the podium speak, the coach speak, the media. He's got Boy Scout. He is not about to embarrass the franchise in any way, shape, or form. He's a hard worker. Everybody respects the hell out of him. I mean, I heard Colin Cowherd say that Sam Darnold absolutely belongs in the $50 million a year situation, but Brock does not. That is absurd. That is absurd. For anyone to look me in the eye and say Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy, you're out of your mind. He was in a really better situation last year. Sam Darnold was in a better situation on a team that wasn't banged up, with a head coach that wasn't out of ideas, with two of the best pass catchers in all of football and an offensive line that gave him the time he needed. Sam Darnold was in so much of a better situation than Brock Purdy was. But then when the postseason came around, Sam Darnold wet the bed. Brock Purdy's postseason failures have come with zero bedwetting, no matter what they do in the draft. No matter whether you like it or don't like it, they're going to be favored to win the NFC West next year. That's because of Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. Since Kyle's not going anywhere, I want the deal done to make sure that Brock isn't going anywhere. And these two guys either go on to glory together or they both wash out together. There is no separating either from the other now. It is the two of them are married. And if the marriage doesn't work out, all right. But I think these two can make beautiful music together. They certainly, to an extent, already have. To walk away from it now in the name of, I think we can do better, when really what you would be looking for, what you would be hoping for more than anything else, is to bring in a quarterback who is instantly as good as Brock Purdy has been. It's hard. Again, you want to get rid of a guy that would be the yardstick to determine if the next guy was showing early signs of being good at this or not. It normally takes several years of learning how to do it to turn into a quarterback who is statistically productive as Brock Purdy has been. He stepped into the league like this. We've seen other quarterbacks with Kyle Shanahan not have this level of success. So don't tell me that it doesn't matter who walks out of the locker room. As long as it's a quarterback, Kyle can make that work. That is not true. He has not had much success as a head coach without either Matt Ryan or Brock Purdy. That's true. Jimmy Garoppolo for a heartbeat. We'll give him that. We'll give Jimmy a heartbeat. Jimmy's stolen a lot of heartbeats throughout his life, hasn't he? Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.